Hello, fellow stars, and oh my gosh, I am so excited. We hit 100 subscribers this morning. Yay! Thank you all so much for being here and believing in me. I stayed up far too late last night to start making this video in preparation because I wanted to have something to post when we hit 100. In other news, I also wanted to announce that the next video after this one will be the first of a short 3-part series. I do have a couple of longer series on my list, but with everything going on with the impending move, I think it's better to start with a shorter one. Hopefully I can get it done before I lose my recording space. Fingers crossed. Side note, still open for commissions or donations toward the move, link in description. Anyways, on to today's fic. This one-shot is called Todoroki's Kidnapping Adventure by Broken_Lava-Lamp. And the summary is as follows. Shoto was in the back of a white van after being offered candy. After not getting his promised candy, he causes chaos for the kidnapper. Meanwhile, Class 1A and Shota Aizawa are looking for the son of Endeavor. Let's get started. Shoto had been quite confused when he was offered a lollipop by some random stranger. Nonetheless, candy was candy, except now he was in the back of a white van. Lollipopless. So you're telling me you don't have any candy? Shoto asked in his signature blank tone. For the millionth time, no, was the cranky reply from the darkly dressed figure. Then why did you say you had candy? Shoto asked, confused. The person looked to be simmering with annoyance. Because I needed to kidnap you? The kidnapper said, like it was the most obvious thing in the world. In Shoto's defense, the man said he had candy. Shoto eating anything other than what was on the dietary plan Endeavor made for him really pissed off his father, so he made a point to do it as often as possible. Oh, okay. Shoto deadpanned, leaning back in his seat. He asked, So, what's for lunch? Nothing? I'm literally kidnapping you. How does this not faze you? The kidnapper said, frustrated. Looking out the window, Shoto saw that they passed a Wendy's. Hey, turn around. There's my favorite fast food place. The kidnapper looked ready to burst. What about no, don't you understand? He asked through gritted teeth. I don't know. Have I told you I'm hungry? At the red light, the kidnapper turned around in his seat and asked, If I stop at a dollar store and buy you a lollipop, will you shut the fuck up? Shoto simply nodded with lazy eyes. Great. The man sighed and started making his way to the nearest dollar store. While Shoto was waiting for the man to come back with his lollipop, he pulled his phone out. Shoto had recently been addicted to this game Izuku had introduced him to. It was called Candy Crush. So far, Shoto was a master. He had already made his way into the thousands levels in his first week. When the man came back, he handed Shoto his lollipop. The kidnapper's eyes landed on Shoto's phone. How did you get that? I took that away from you fucking hours ago. The kidnapper asked, looking increasingly angrier. Shoto gave him a shrug and turned back to his game. You're Endeavor's kid, right? The kidnapper asked after half an hour of silence. Shoto just scowled and nodded in agreement. Okay, good. The kidnapper grabbed hold of Shoto's phone, snatching it out of his hands. The kidnapper asked which one was Endeavor's phone number. Shoto pointed at the one labeled Flaming Garbage with a bunch of frowny faces next to it. The kidnapper looked exasperated and seemed like he decided not to question it. The stranger pressed the call button. Shoto, you have finally answered my calls, was the booming response that came from the phone. No, I have kidnapped your son, the kidnapper said with a devilish grin on his face. If you want him back, you'll pay a ransom of 145 million yen. The stranger cackled. Before the kidnapper could get his final word in, the phone call was interrupted by a call from a contact named Izuku with heart emojis next to it. Oh hey, can I take that? Shoto finally piped up. Shoto snatched his phone back before the kidnapper said anything. Hey! Shoto cut him off before he spoke, though. Hey, babe. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, some jackass kidnapped me. He said he had candy. I wanted to piss off Endeavor. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Bye, Zuko. Yeah, see you in a bit. The kidnapper looked like at any second the vein on his forehead might burst. Shoto thinks he might actually see smoke coming out of his ears. Temperature quirk, maybe? Izuku might want to hear about that. What's your quirk? Shoto asked, monotone. Like I would tell you. You must think I'm some fucking dumbass to get me to fall for that. Shoto honestly didn't care about this man's IQ. He just wanted to know the man's quirk for the sake of his quirk-interested boyfriend. Shoto told him as much. Looking back at his phone, he saw over 71 missed calls from his stupid father. He smiled a bit at the thought of his father's struggles. You are a hero student, right? The man asked tensely. Shoto nodded back, completely relaxed. The kidnapper pulled out his own phone. What's your teacher's number? Shoto thought on this for a minute. Buy me Wendy's first. The kidnapper started cursing Shoto out, but obliged at the promise of information. After Shoto had his chicken sandwich and fries with a chocolate frosty, the man demanded Aizawa-sensei's number again. To which Shoto responded, You didn't make me pinky promise. After badgering the man to turn back around for another frosty this time, pinky promising to give the kidnapper his teacher's number, he gave up the information. The kidnapper grinned menacingly as the phone rang. Hello, came the deadpan voice of his homeroom teacher. Hello, I have captured your student. Which one? Aizawa asked nonchalantly. Endeavor's child. The man grinned. Ah, was all Aizawa said. Ah, what do you mean, ah? You should be concerned, the man said with a manic look on his face. Oh, no, you can keep him. He's one of the problem children. Shoto tilted his head in confusion. Zuko, and he had to refrain from gagging just thinking the name, Bakugo, were most problematic. Aizawa's voice came back over the speaker. Yeah, he's on my problem child list. I don't want him back. And without further explanation, he hung up. Are you done holding me captive yet? I'm getting kind of tired now, and I want to go back now, Shoto asked. The kidnapper, seemingly resigned to his fate, nodded and started to drive him back. The drive back was pretty quiet, aside from Shoto pestering the kidnapper for another frosty. The kidnapper seemed pretty fed up with Shoto. Well, it was his fault for not having the lollipops he offered in the first place. Izuku hadn't been concerned when Shoto hadn't come back from the bathrooms while they were in a class outing. What had concerned him was how he wasn't answering his phone. After around 15 attempts to reach Shoto, Izuku sighed. Aizawa-sensei was trying to comfort Izuku, but he was really bad at it. After one last attempt to get a hold of Shoto, the line picked up. Izuku had his worries wiped away by finding out that Shoto was only kidnapped. If it had been the League, he would have been slightly more concerned, but being Shoto's boyfriend, he knew that almost no one, other than him, could probably stand Shoto's constant requests for Wendy's. Shoto had seemed really cold and closed off, but that was just Shoto's mask. Izuku knew that if anyone knew the real Shoto like he did, they would probably return him back to Izuku. Sure, it seemed a bit sad, but when Shoto wanted to be a jerk, he found the best way to annoy someone. After Aizawa-sensei was called by the kidnapper, Izuku got a glance from Aizawa-sensei. I told you, problem child, Sensei called. Sometimes I can't help but be worried, Izuku said dramatically. Aizawa-sensei rolled his eyes at his antics. Okay, problem child. Reaching down, Aizawa-sensei ruffled his hair. A few moments later, a white van pulled up into the parking lot of the park the class had taken a trip to. Shoto hopped out of the back, thanking the kidnapper for the apparently 2 frosties he got from Wendy's. Shoto came jogging toward him and gently clasped Izuku's hand in his own. Holding hands, Izuku and Shoto made their way to the bus they had taken to the park and headed back to UA. All right, this one is certainly shorter than the last one, but it was super cute and a little bit of a crack fic. And just, I had so much fun drawing Shoto for this video. Anyways, thank you all once again for being here. And if you have any requests, please let me know down in the comments. I will reach out to the authors and see what can be done. Also, if you guys have any questions, I think people usually do like little question and answers for milestones, so I'll answer a few if you want to ask. If not, that's okay too. I can wait for a bigger milestone. I'm sure we'll get there. Alright, time for more shameless self-promotion. Check out the art channel, Art of Astrophel, or check me out on any of the social medias. I believe I post on TikTok the most, then Instagram, then occasionally Twitter. Or hey, follow me on Twitch. I stream on Saturdays and Mondays. Speaking of which, today's Saturday, and my stream starts in about half an hour, so I'm going to get this edited, posted, and see you all later. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe.